I guess any aviation enthusiast's heart is bleeding in the year 2020 when you start thinking about how many awesome aircraft we are losing in this year. One of the fleets we're losing is the 747 of British Airways, so let's reminisce a little bit and take a look back in time. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 747-400 of British Airways. At the front of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and at the bottom of the box we have the British Airways branding. The backside of the box then again offers us the same image once more. We also have the original dimensions of the aircraft and some additional information. And here she is, the Boeing 747-400 in the current livery of British Airways, the Queen of the Skies. Unfortunately, British Airways has decided to scrap their entire 747 fleet in the year 2020, of course, due to the effects of the corona crisis. This model was produced by Herpa Wings in the years 2007-2008, so it is a rather old model, so perhaps we shouldn't expect too many details, but let's find out. And we start off with the tail section of the aircraft, where we, on the vertical stabilizer, have the British Airways branding. On top of the stabilizer, we then find the last three letters of the registration code. The full registration code we then find on the fuselage, where we also have a little logo next to that, which I know is supposed to be the logo of the British Royal Mail. This is definitely not the best execution we've ever seen, but yeah, well, it's what it is. At the very tail we then also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then again have the British Airways branding, and next to the cabin doors we also have some small SkyTeam logos, of which of course British Airways is a member. The cockpit section itself is very bare boned. We don't really get many details here. The only thing we really get here is simply the cockpit windows, and above the cockpit windows the emergency hatch for the cockpit that has been printed on as well. So not too much detailing here from Herpa Wings. A little bit more detailing we do get on the engine nacelles. They do look rather nice with the silver leading edge and of course the iconic Rolls-Royce branding. A little bit of a letdown are the engines, however, when we look at them from the backside, that's definitely not as nicely detailed as a more current release from Herpa Wings. If we look into the engines from the front, however, we then very nicely can see the engine fan blades. But moving on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at. And if we take a look here at the top side, we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely. We do also have some additional detailing with some different shades of grey, but that's about it for the top side. The underside I think looks rather okay. Here we also find the full registration code of the aircraft once again. Then the 747-400 of course also has these lovely winglets, which I think Herpa has done a fairly decent job in replicating. Now, if this model had been a current release from Herpa Wings, the landing gear would have been made entirely out of metal, as the 747 models from Herpa Wings in Scale 500 these days is made out of metal. But this is from 2007-2008, and here the landing gear is still made out of plastic. Overall, I think the landing gear looks okay. In more current releases it looks better, but that's just the way it should be. And considering the age of the model, I think the landing gear is absolutely acceptable. And then last but not least, we also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back side, although we can see that Herpa did struggle a little bit with that print. We can see the same issues here also at the front, where you can see the line is missing a little bit. Not perfectly executed, but we do have the cargo doors. So there we have it, the Boeing 747-400 in the current livery of British Airways of Herpa Wings in Scale 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, overall, I think for a Herpa release from the year 2007-2008, this is a very decent aircraft model. Of course, if it was a current release, I would be crying for more details, but we have to consider the age of the model, and for that I actually think it is a very good model. It's not far away from what we get today, which is a little bit scary to think about. But the question at the end of the day is ultimately, is this an aircraft worth having in one's collection? Now, my conclusion to that question would be yes, absolutely. But the good news is that Herpa Wings has made tons and tons of models of 747s of British Airways in all sorts of liveries. So you have really plenty to choose from. So if you're not happy with this one, I'm sure you'll find some other that is more to your liking. And with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.